Hey guys, welcome to the Liberal Hive Mind, a channel solely focused on exposing the abundant hypocrisy of the left. You know what's a telltale sign of narcissism? The inability to accept one's fault. I love how the left always points the finger at Donald Trump, calling him a narcissist. He's a this, he's a that, he's everything under the sun. He's a fascist, he's an authoritarian. Every single time it's projection, it's always projection. Trump isn't the narcissist. In fact, I'd argue Trump's been relatively malleable on a whole lot of issues. You know what's a telltale sign of narcissism? The inability to accept responsibility. The inability to take the frickin' L and humble yourself. They tell you that's a problem of the right, but I'm here to tell you, no, that is a problem of the left, at least much more so. Only a group of unabashed narcissists, nearly 4 years later after all the chaos, all the disaster, would still be calling for these kinds of idiotic BLM-style policies. Let me show you guys exactly what I mean by that. We got some stuff to get into, so let's roll the tape. Alright friends, so here's the perfect headline, or at least it's the perfect question. What could go wrong? Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson suggests non-police response to emergencies. Take a look at this.
Good afternoon, Mayor. I'll be quick. First question, if the city isn't considering a gunshot detection alternative to ShotSpotter, then what should replace it? Will it still be a form of surveillance technology?
Well, and thank you for that question. As I've said, the violence that we experience in Chicago is horrific. And though shootings are down, homicides are down, there's still a lot of work to be done. My plan and my vision for the city of Chicago is comprehensive. It's going to take more than what has been done to get to the results that I'm committed to see come to fruition. And so investing in people is our best pathway forward. Now, are there other technological advances, that I may not be aware of that provide a non-police response to respond to emergency? Because 40% of the calls that come through are mental health crises. There could be some forms of technology that can give us a response so that EMT can show up and mental health crisis providers can show up. I'm not aware of any. But again, the approach here is to build a comprehensive approach. And that's what we've done. And so I don't want us to fall into the trap and the behavior of old, where we only look at policing as the only form to build a better, stronger, safer Chicago.
And on the subject,
No, it's your turn.
So some of you guys might actually be missing some context here. Essentially, Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson recently vowed to get rid of a gunshot detection system that essentially would alert police when shots are fired.
Tonight, Chicago aldermen are blasting the mayor's decision to stop using controversial ShotSpotter technology. The mayor's office announced it will not renew the city's current $49 million ShotSpotter contract, which ends this Friday. 2 recent reports found the gunshot detection technology is ineffective and unfairly targets communities of color. Less than an hour ago, a group of aldermen gathered to call on Mayor Brandon Johnson to keep using this system, which they say shortens police response times and saves lives.
The only people against ShotSpotter are the organizers, the community organizers who want to use the money that saves black and brown lives into their own pockets.
When you put politics in front of public safety, we have to draw the line.
The mayor's office says it made the decision based on feedback from the community and law enforcement. The city will continue using ShotSpotter until September, following the Democratic National Convention.
So that's basically the controversy going on in Chicago. And when Mayor Brandon Johnson was questioned on what's going to be the alternative, his response was unironically the BLM talking point of, we're going to send social workers to emergencies. These people are out of their damn minds. First off, the reasoning behind all of it is so naive and idiotic, it's so incompetent. First off, the removal of the gunshot detection program, the claim is that it's racist and disproportionately affecting minorities. So you have inner city communities where gang members are shooting each other, most of those gang members happen to be non-white, and so most of the shot detection is happening in those neighborhoods, and that's somehow racist? I don't think that's how it works. Pretty sure that's just where people are indiscriminately killing each other, and that's a problem, and maybe that should be addressed rather than axing the whole frickin' supposedly racist program. We're stuck in this endless loop of leftist idiocy. You would think at this point that they would learn. I mean, crime and especially murder in Chicago is skyrocketing, has skyrocketed over the years since they've attempted to enact all of these supposedly progressive policies. You would think that maybe we'd see some of them start to pivot, but of course not, they double down. And it brings me back to the point I was making in the intro, because they're freaking narcissists. No matter how wrong they are on an issue, even in an instance like this, when we're talking about human life as the consequence, there seems to be a complete inability to accept the truth, to take responsibility. These policies don't work. We're not talking about kindergarten. Oh, the kids are acting up, let's send social workers. We're talking about hardened gang members. We're talking about people who shoot other people in the face and feel no freaking remorse. People who fire bullets indiscriminately into crowds in drive-by shootings, where stray bullets hit innocent civilians, sometimes young children. We're talking about hardened gang members who commit the most heinous of acts, and the thought process is we need less police, let's keep defunding the police and sending social workers, and let's get rid of the shot detection program because of the, let's call it, unfortunate truth of the matter at hand. And once again, it takes us right back to that sort of element of leftist hypocrisy. They point the finger at Republicans, and especially Donald Trump, and they say that side, the Republican side, lacks compassion, doesn't care about life, doesn't care about kids. Well, I would argue the side that gives cover for criminals, the side that enables criminals, that coddles criminals, the side that refuses to punish criminals effectively, criminals who prey on honest, hardworking civilians, I'd say that's the side that's lacking compassion. That's the side that doesn't care about the kids, doesn't care about women and children. That's the side that would rather play narrative games. That's the side that would rather weaponize race to use it as an emotional political weapon rather than showing true compassion for the people who deserve it. You know who deserves compassion? The low-income family that lives in these neighborhoods that's trying to get by honestly, the good people who live in these neighborhoods who have to deal with the constant threat of violence and gunshots echoing across their neighborhood. I'd argue those are the people who deserve compassion. The small business owners and even the mega corporations and the big retail, big box stores who are being robbed, who are having their employees assaulted or robbed at gunpoint, those are the people who deserve our compassion. Those are the people that we should be focused on. But of course, if you're a sociopathic, self-interested, narcissistic politician who cares only about oneself and one's political ambition within a specific political party, well, of course, you don't really care about that now, do you? No, they'll continue enacting these idiotic policies. They'll continue bringing in millions and millions of migrants, many of which are criminals. They'll continue to defund the police. They'll continue to demonize the police, leading to situations like this in New York City. Record 5,363 NYPD cops are injured on the job in 2023, with over 1,200 hurt in struggles with suspects in the last 3 months. Yeah, Democrats would rather literally cause harm. Let's again have a conversation about compassion. Democrat policies are bringing drugs, violence, and criminal organizations to our neighborhoods to run rampant, to operate freely, and people are starting to get hurt because of it. The migrant crisis in New York that Joe Biden, Bill de Blasio, and Eric Adams are responsible for, and let's add Governor Kathy Hochul to the list, well, it's having devastating consequences, and people are getting hurt. People are being assaulted, stabbed, robbed. Police officers are being assaulted like we've never seen before, but we don't hear a peep from Democrats because they don't care. But could you imagine if it was the other way around? Could you imagine if an illegal migrant was the victim of police brutality at the hands of an NYPD officer? It would be front page news nonstop every single day. It's all we'd ever hear about. It happens the other way and Democrats don't care. One unarmed black man loses his life or is injured during an altercation with a police officer and it's front page news. And if the optics are really bad, it's not just front page news, it's summer of riot. Meanwhile, young black life is being culled by the thousands due to gang violence and turf wars. and it never even makes the news. It only makes the local news. Make it make sense. I mean, it's so bad. Democrats care so little that they would rather not even be able to detect the gunshots in Southside Chicago. They care so little about life being lost due to gang violence that they want to shut off the shot spotting technology. It's beyond idiotic, it's beyond hypocritical, and most importantly, it's totally narcissistic. Democrats use other people's problems as a way to forward their own agenda. They stand on the shoulders of perceived victim groups to seem high and mighty, but it's really a diversion tactic to implement a more macro agenda. All the evils that the left accuses the right of being engaged in, they themselves, as per usual, are the most guilty of. Brandon Johnson very quickly, I think, is going to go down as one of the worst mayors in Chicago history. And that, my friends, is a freaking feat. What an absolute S-show. Anyways, that's what I got for you guys. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure to leave a like or possibly subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.